welcome back to another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. I'm Danielle, and today we're spending time at the YWCA in downtown Cincinnati. We're speaking with Barbara Perez. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you for coming down. We love having you here.
Thank you. So what can you tell us about this building?
So this building, quite a lot of history. It was built in 1929. It was built in less than a year, which is amazing to me, considering the size and scope of the building. It was built the same year as the Carew Tower and a couple other important buildings in town. So there's, again, a rich history. This building, when it was first housed, was residential housing for women who were coming to the city from the outlying areas and needed to work in the big city and needed a safe place to live. So housing for young women was sort of the beginning of what was used here. Then we also have been doing employment services out of this building since our inception. And to this day, we still continue to have a strong workforce development program.
Now, are there any unique aspects about the building that you'd like to share?
Well, we have a saline pool, which downstairs we have a whole fitness center, so there's a saline pool that's original to the building. We have on the first floor, it's no longer set up this way, but there was a cafeteria. And in the 1950s, you can imagine there was nowhere else in town where people of color and white women could actually engage in a meal together. So for us, that's really important about this building.
And what is the mission of the YWCA?
Well, that's easy. We have a beautiful mission. So it's to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all.
And what are some of the things that you all do to make that mission come alive?
Sure. So there's three primary areas that we do our work. Racial justice and civil rights inclusion work, that's the first bucket. The second is health and safety of women and girls. And the third is economic advancement and empowerment of women and girls.
And some of the other things that we've seen as we were walking through the halls, we saw that there are some original doors downstairs from the elevators. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. Well, and those original doors, they're beautiful brass. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So we have them more of a decorative piece now. But they were the original elevator doors, and they have our mission as on the top of the doors.
And then the room that we're in right now, what is it used for?
So this room we use for all of our board meetings. We also have a lot of community events. We have our workforce development GED graduation in this room, which is so inspiring. We just had one a month or so ago. We have the Mamie Earl Sells Tea, which is a Young Scholars Award program that we do that celebrates young girls of color who maybe need that extra lift up in getting through their young lives in high school. And we have a beautiful tea in this room as well. So a couple other features of this building. We have a chapel, and the chapel was used for the young women who were housed here because we were a young women's Christian organization at the time. During World War II, we had very involved with the USO, and they would have dances on the rooftop of the building here on 9th and Walnut.
And your vision for the future for the Greater Cincinnati YWCA organization is what?
You know, what's very sad to me is that in 2016, that our mission is so relevant and so important. So in the past year, since I've come on board as the CEO of the YWCA, we've recommitted to the racial justice part of our work. And so we are working with community partners and really trying to do more community education, community conversations, and we will continue to do that.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, you know, I've worked for a lot of nonprofits in my career, but I've never worked for a nonprofit that has such a rich history. In, you know, back to the civil war. So the YWCA emerged right post-Civil War. So as women were starting to think about going into work, and when we were really starting to talk about issues of race and color in this country, and we're making some progress, then, you know, the suffragette movement in the early 1900s, the YWCA was so active in that. In the 30s, we were doing immigration work. Long before other people were doing it, the YWCA was. In the 60s and 70s, we were very active in civil rights work. And so that's why we've recommitted to the racial justice work in the past year, because over the last 20 years, we've maybe lost a little sight of that. So staff and board members are so re-energized about this.
That is wonderful.
It is.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you talking with us.
Oh, thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again so much for watching today's edition of History in Your Own Backyard. Today we spent time at the YWCA in downtown Cincinnati talking with Miss Barbara Perez. We hope that you enjoyed learning all about it. Remember, travel slowly and stop often. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.